This is definitely Bible study day. I know that some of you guys are at work, but those that have the ability to tune in, I want to say first of all, if this is your first time in my life, my name is Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. I am the apostle and pastor of Apostle Solid Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated, and my beliefs are deeply rooted in the ATRs. The ATRs are the African traditional religion by which we harness, direct, and disperse energy, frequency, and vibration. To each and every one of you guys, salutations to my madrina, to my padrino, to my oba, and to all of my brothers and sisters in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lukumi, Congo, Palo, Mystic, and Adjays. What's up there, Jeremy? Thank you for joining us on today. What's up, my Ryan? My Libra Cardinal Air in the house. What's up, Mother Susan? I want to say this is Bible study day, and I wanted to really share this. This is very significant, especially those that are on a spiritual journey. And if you've been in the church, when it comes down to um, people passing away, and you get into involved or initiated in the ATRs, I want you to have a better understanding what takes place with the soul. Um, First of all, I want to say to my air signs, water signs, earth sign, and fire signs, hello and salutations to each and every one of you guys. I am right now. I'm in West Palm Beach. I was in Miami, then I went Fort Lauderdale. Now I'm in West Palm Beach. Um, I want to say to each and every one of you guys, this is going to be really significant, and I want to discuss this. My subject is about spiritual liens on souls when they depart. And thank you, Dimitri, for joining us on today, Gemini. And I want to speak about ancestry. I want to speak about the clarity of magic and spirituality. And when you have a lot of preconceived ideas of what you do on this side, in the earth plane, on the material plane, and you have sold certain things and you pass away, there are spiritual liens that people like me, necromancers, conjurers, people that are associated with other entities and beings, can place a spiritual lien, just like your city can place a lien on your property for non-payment. Thank you for everybody joining in. Please hit that like button. What's up there, Monique Fofo? She got Bobby Collins. That's her husband. But Crab Case is in the house. And the reason why I want to say this because I grew up in churches like you did. I grew up in black churches, just like many of you have, and we all have these type of belief systems that are really not true. And and I know everybody heard this, when somebody passed away, or they went straight to hell, or they went straight to heaven, and neither one is true. Neither one is true. The only way that a person can go to heaven, especially a woman, she has to die in childbirth. I'm gonna say this again. A woman that dies in childbirth, she is ascended automatically. A woman is a if there is a portal between life and death, and when a woman dies dies because of childbirth, um, she goes straight into the heavens. Depending on who she is and what she did in this life, she may go get to certain spaces, but she will get into the heavens. The heavens are the astral planes, where a spirit can ascend based off of energy, frequency, and vibration. These are not my laws. These are universal laws. These are the divine laws of divine God, divine feminine and masculine. So, what's up, Tree Runner Aries in the house? So, a lot of times that black people and especially melanated people in the United States, um, people that really do conjure and necromancy and working with the dead knows that a spirit lingers 365 days after they have left. Whether they are buried, whether they're cremated, whether they are burned alive, it doesn't matter how they left the earth, whether they left in peace or whether they left in torment. They have access to this earth plane for 365 days in 1 year, calendar year. And then, because they have to transition their energy. Remember, whether you accept this or not, we're made in the image and the likeness of the divine. So, therefore, there are certain aspects of ourselves that have to be released back into the spirit world. And it takes time, just like it takes time for a child to be born, it takes time for a person to die. This is why we can those that are skilled like this when it comes down to death, that we can prolong life or we can shorten life. um a lot of people that choose to live this life and that choose to live this life and dishonor their parents, their days shall be cut off. This is when people think that certain laws are Christian laws, they feel like because I'm not a Christian, it doesn't affect me. You cannot dishonor your mother and father. It doesn't matter whether you're Christian, non-believer, whether they're atheists, whether they're what you call a straight devil. It don't matter. Those are the chambers that were utilized for you to be created and to come to this earth plane, and you have to honor that. Don't mean you have to listen or follow or none of that. It does mean that you have to honor that. So we talking about real magic, real conjure. But this is a misconception that most black people, because how they feel about their loved one, they automatically project those people into heavens. Um, the problem is, and I'm gonna say this, if there's a spiritual lien on that soul based off of a ritual that was done, then when that soul crosses over, those spirits meet that soul and they apprehend that soul. I'm going to say this again. If you had a physical lien on your house and you tried to sell that house and the county had a lien on that house, it will prohibit the sale of that house. This is when I tell you guys about picking wars, getting in warfare with spiritual people. I'm a child of the dead. What people have to understand that have chosen to get into warfares with me, that I have given your name to death. I have given your name to Lady Death and God of Death. I have given your name to the grave. So whether I pass first or I pass last, you will not go on. Whatever you have sowed unto me in this life, you're going to reap that in your bloodline. I don't know why black people think that you can do things in this body and there's no record of the deeds that you've done in this body and the deeds that you do to other people, that you can just die and it's all forgiven. That is a misnomer. Be careful of the seeds that you sow. Be careful of the people you choose to get into spiritual wars. Be careful of the people that you choose not to reconcile your issue or differences, where those spirits are not having a lien on your soul when you get ready to depart. The fact that I am a child of death and I'm a natural born necromancer, what I try to get people to understand, it's like I told this story before. Um, I went to my spiritual dad's shop, but he wasn't in the front of the store. He was literally in the back, so I had to go through the store and go through the back, and that's where he and another gentleman was. as I proceeded into the garage area, there was a table, but there's a person's spirit that was sitting on the table. And so I was trying to talk to him, to get his attention, but he was talking to the gentleman, and the spirit spoke to me and said, he asked me to release him. So apparently my spiritual dad heard him, and he turned around and looked at me and he said, "What did he tell you?" I said, he asked me to release him. And he said, "Well, that ain't gonna be easy." And that's what he said. And so they were talking about the person that was sitting on the table, and they was talking about the niggas that were having his funeral, and they were laughing and saying they talking about he going to heaven, and he's sitting his monkey ass right on the table. And black people really, because they're really not seers, they really not attached to spirit world. They don't understand that it's not that simple. And when a man or woman dies, doesn't matter if he's spiritual or not. Um, he still has a transition. That's why you hear them saying they are transitioning, because you can't be birthed overnight and you cannot transition into death overnight. It just doesn't. Dying is a process, just like living is a process. Thank you so much for hitting that like button. What's up, Miranda? Aloha. So, um, and the reason why I want to talk about this is because a lot of you guys are getting into the ATRs and dark magic, and a lot of times the way you believe is really not the way it is. Um, Yahshua said it like this: How can you come from heaven except you? I mean, how can you go to heaven except you come from heaven? When the rich man died, his consciousness was around Abraham, but there was a gulf between him and Abraham and Isaac. I mean, and Lazarus. And so, therefore, we understand that consciousness, when we release our consciousness, it can go to different spaces and places in the astral realm, while it awaits its opportunity to transition. And depending on what type of spirits that are around that person when they pass, or what type of spirits that come around them when they pass, depends on where that spirit can go. And so, a lot of times we think that people are a great wonder in the earth because that is your loved one. But the truth of the matter is, when it comes to the spirit world, it's all about jurisdiction. So let me explain it to you like this. Can someone target a soul by with black magic makes the soul so? Yes, someone. A soul is energy. Any energetic being can be targeted. So, I mean, to clarify, black magic is nothing but melanin magic. I don't reference black magic in the instance that a lot of black people reference black magic as in something demonic. I do not believe in the terminology of demon. I believe in the terminology of daimon, half God, half human. I believe that we are melanated people, and that we have life-giving energy from melanin, and the melanin is carbon energy, which is dark matter. It's the substance of the universe. It's a building block of life. And so therefore, when you're working with somebody that has life, now what people don't understand when I teach this is I'm a necromancer. And what that means, that when any soul dies, you come into my jurisdiction. I'm a child of the dead, and I rule over the dead. My mother is Lady Death, and my father is Kobe and Day, and the God of Death. So anything that whether it's an animal or a person or even a tree or something that dies, it goes into the ancestor realm. It has an astral body. It doesn't. It's a living organism, and therefore it has it has a place in the astral plane, and I rule over that dominion because of my gifting, my abilities. And so therefore it doesn't matter if that person is a believer, non-believer, initiated, not initiated. What may be difficult sometimes if you got initiated and you got different name, but you still are a soul. And that's all I need to know. And if I have a spiritual lean on you, you're not gonna pass and you're not gonna transition well. Um, and this is why I tell people, do not get into wars with people that are necromancers, mediums, people that are utilized with egum, with moreto, with igugu, um, what I'm saying, um, ancestor, a person that works with the dead. Everybody got to die. This ain't about whether you good or evil in y'all context, but it's about that you are transitioning and you have went into the land of the ancestors. Um, this is why I was able to tell Minister Mario, I said, if the worst case scenario, if you die, I'm going to come and get you because I can travel back and forth through the land of the ancestors. I'm also crowned Mafetipun Babalu Aye, and he is an Orisha and a Egun at the same time. And therefore, that gives me the ability to be an ancestor, even though I'm a living ancestor, but also an ancestor that can travel into the ancestral plane at anytime, day or night. I have access. So I wanted. Thank you so much for the. She said you're amazing. Back at to you, honey. Miranda, thank you for $20 to do this. This is why, especially my tribe and people that learn up under me, I'd always tell y'all about burning for your ancestors and your loved ones to burn that guardian instinct because it's elevating, it's giving them che. Even when I think both loved ones passed, I was doing certain things to elevate that particular spirit. That spirit needs light, it needs guidance in order to go into certain spaces in the astral plane. And this is what black people, black American people don't understand. Nobody goes straight anywhere except that's a divine spirit, except that spirit has been crowned. It has to go into another astral plane. Minister Mario is in the spirit world, but Minister Mario is in the land of Ochosi. He is the vibration and the frequency of every Ochosi that has passed. He has his own space. He has his own spiritual structure. Some people will call it a castle. Um, but when you are initiating, you are initiating certain traditions. Um, a part of me is gonna be with the impungos because I'm initiating different. Certain parts of me is gonna be with loas, and depending on your spiritual initiation and your spiritual abilities, is where you can manifest, astral project, or call spirits from that particular dimension. That's what we're gonna be doing a lot with my intermediate class that we're gonna be got coming up. Intermediate and conjure. People cannot explain this because they don't live it. A lot of times when I'm talking about things, don't get upset with your other leaders because they weren't sharing this kind of information. They can't tell you something they don't know. They don't. They have formality which when it comes to tradition. I live this. I deal with spirits. Um, I know how to promote spirits. I know how to what to do with a spirit needs to be lifted. I know how to exalt a spirit because I'm crowned, and I was crowned before I got into Ocha. I was king, so you can give authority that you already possess to other spirits. I'm gonna say this again. You can give authority or ache to other spirits. When I got crowned, I went back to my ancestor cemetery, and I shared my ache with my loved ones because they had never been crowned. They were powerful spirits, but I started sharing that extraterrestrial energy with them. I consecrated their graves and I blessed their graves with that energy and so forth because I strengthen my bloodline. I strengthen my as I elevate, I evolve, I share that energy Ache with my ancestors. Um and so far I got crowned twice. So even though I'm gonna be receiving I got you this weekend, I'm still sharing Ache. I received Inlay and Abata. I'm still sharing because when that they elevate, it elevates me. Let me say this: you don't ever want to get a spiritual lien on your soul because you have so treachery. You have done something to somebody. This is why people are born and they have certain spells on them from their previous life. Because the people that curse them, it follows them into the spirit world. It follows that soul into the spirit world. And a lot of times it falls on the necks of kin. When somebody leaves karmic energy, it passes to the next living physical person. If they have good karmic energy, that passes as well. So it's not just all negative. It can be something positive. It can be a blessing or a curse. When people have generational curses, what that basically is saying that this curse was passed from soul to soul to soul to soul, and until those souls be cleansed or that energy removed or that spell broken, everybody born up under that soul tie is going to have the same type of influence in those with that energy, depending on what type of curse it was. I don't want my flock, my tribe, people that follow me to be ignorant to the point that you think that somebody goes leaves their body and now they're in heaven. No, there's a process. There's 365 calendar days from the time that they leave their body. And then this is another thing. If they have a physical body that has been dismembered, those bones are still living. If they are sitting in the hospital in the freezer, that spirit is going to be with that body. They're going to be moving back and forth, but they're going to be around their body. This is why people work in the funeral home can actually work spirits of people that are in their funeral homes. My spiritual dad taught my spiritual brother how to do it. I know a lot of stuff. So there's a reason why I'm saying this. You know, your mama laying up their body, but if you know what to do, you can get her to move while she's still in the spirit world and do what you need her to do. I'm There's a lot of things that people can do that you don't even know that can be done. Your family, loved ones don't have to be in the ground. I was guarding Mario's body the whole time, his spirit, the whole time while he was going through that process, because I understood all of that. And I guard. I'm a child of Oya, and so therefore a part of her job is to guide souls when they pass. You have to have some form of protection for the loved ones or the people that cross over. This is why you see some of us light candles so the spirit can see, because they don't longer have these kind of eyes. They got another set of eyes, but they are in darkness. All of them are in darkness because that darkness is true light. I'm going to say this again. You were born in darkness, and you're going to die in darkness. And that's why we light candles, so they can see their way. Some of them find their way regardless, but because they have enough light on the inside of them. But don't let nobody fool you that if you don't sow some treacherous stuff and you ain't got that stuff right, you got a spiritual lean on you. And you're not going to transition, and you're not going to pass on to the next life. It's not happening. And especially if I'm that person that you did something to in this life, it's not happening. So I don't know where you think you're going, but you got to deal with my ancestors and my spirits now. And I rule over this domain. Are you understanding? I am a child of necromancy. And I have power, authority to rule over the spirits of the cemetery and of the dead. Just a little knowledge sake. Don't get a contract placed on you because of your deeds. And you should be concerned about how you use your energy, frequency, and vibration anyway. But it shouldn't be that, oh, as long as I don't mess with Apostle Ely, I'm good. No, you should be the type of person. If you got to do what you got to do, that's one thing. But to go out here messing with people and doing stuff and doing dirt to people, and because energy is not destroyed. The curse that you put out there against me, the conjure, the root work, you got to pay for all of that. I don't know where y'all get. See, this is what happened when people grow up in the church and they think Jesus paid it all. They believe that all they got to do is ask God for forgiveness. See, you didn't do it to the God that you claim that you're calling on in the sky. You did it to the God that's on the inside of me. You understand? You're talking to the wrong God. When you sowed it here, you're going to reap it here. I can live another 20 years. I can live another 30 years. I can live another 2 days. Whatever, if you have sown it here, you're going to reap it here. I got it. I've been gave your name to the grave. I've been gave your name to mother and father. Because when you push me there, the only satisfaction that I get as a Sagittarius, my moon in Aries and rising sign Pisces, I know that whatever I ask for is eternal. And you think I'm sitting here waiting on you to die. Because whatever I ask for, I'm going to be granted. And it's going to be eternal. And it's going to mark your soul. Just like Cain was marked, you have been marked for a certain type of suffrage, a certain type of punishment, a certain type of whatever, depending on what you did. You don't need somebody like me to mark your soul, because that ain't going nowhere. A bath cleanser ain't gonna move that. I don't know who lied to you about people. This is what happened with the parable in the Bible when the writing was on the wall and God wrote Ichabod on the wall of the castle. When God puts his signature, or a divine being like me puts his signature there, you're not gonna move that. Keep believing all this fallacy. Energy cannot be destroyed. Just because you move away, just because you go cognito, just because you become a hermit, it doesn't change anything. A lot of black people really believe a lot of stuff that is not factual, and it's not concrete, and it's not even true. Just because you believe something, It doesn't make it true. You can't take away my authority. You can't take away my you can actually believe that I'm not even telling you the truth on this live. It don't change something. It doesn't change what I have the ability to do or what I have. That's why I'll always be satisfied. Once I've been granted access and once the God has spoken, I'm good. But spiritual liens do exist. If you believe that spiritual contracts exist, then you should know there's a spiritual lien on your soul also exists. Spirit, God, ancestors, they're not in a hurry. They are already living in eternity. They're not in a rush to handle you or deal with you. They are already eternal. You would have lived longer if you had not sold the things that you sold. Some of you, in my humble opinion, because y'all know I don't believe in telling people what to do, you're not fit to die. Some of y'all think you want to die. I remember I was talking to Sister Trianda and the lady she was caring for. She kept telling Trianda, that little black man done walked me down. He done got me. You don't know how I can operate. I'm not dealing in time based off of man in calendar years. I'm dealing in eternity. I believe in eternal blessings and I believe in eternal curses. I believe in a perpetual blessing here on earth, which is temporal. I have been able to assign people spirits that will walk with them as long as they are on earth. And then when they die, those spirits no longer walk with them. See, I was born with spirits walking with me when I came into this life. And when I leave this life, those same spirits and the other spirits that I have acquired will walk with me into the next life. You need to understand I am an eternal being. I am an extraterrestrial being. And this is not arrogance. These are facts. You need to understand what energy, frequency, and vibration you're dealing with and the seeds that you sow. There are some people that have been good to me, have sold things to me, and those blessings are going to follow them from this life and the next life they're in. The favor that you have acquired is going to follow you in this life and every transition you go through because you have sown your seeds towards a divine meal. That's it. And the thing about it, I want black people to understand, you're the one choosing your outcome. Nobody is making you do. I got a situation coming up, and one of the things I'm gonna do because the person is dealing with a sickness, I'm gonna go. First of all, I'm gonna go to death and have a conversation with death, so death does not proceed, and that gonna buy me some time to work my healing. You understand? There's stages that I can do for people to slow down processes, to give them a fighting chance to live and not die. You understand? And I can also do the reverse. I can speed your body to the grave. I can literally cut your time off. I have to be careful when I do that, but I can do it. But I would need justification to cut somebody's timeline. I can't just do it because I'm mad. I can't do it just because I don't like you. I can't just do it for various reasons. I have to have a good reason to go to these spirits and say, listen, I need you to cut that in half. Whatever half is, I want it. So when they talk to you guys about destiny swapping, all of that is real. and when they talk to you guys about people um, taking people's luck, that's real. One thing I do not agree with um, is people taking your ancestors. People can bind your ancestors. People can block your ancestors. People can weaken your ancestors. But your bloodline is your bloodline. They can't take that from you. I don't care. I can't even do it. Your ancestry is what it is. Now, can somebody make it hard for you to get to your ancestor or for your ancestor to get to you? Absolutely. That's possible. And it's happened quite a few times. Can somebody imprison your loved one in the ground in a casket? Absolutely. They can keep them from being able to come up or rise. That's possible. So understand what a lien is, why it exists, um, what happens when you got a lien on you and you leave this world. You're not going to transition, and you're not going to go anywhere for 365 days. So I got 365 days to take your soul to court. There's a spiritual court of spirits that I can go and have court on your soul and get a stronger verdict on your soul. And I have, just like in the natural law, you got the 20 days or 30 days. It's way deeper than y'all think it is. If you got into ATRs and really got into magic, you will start understanding all of the existence of the other realms, that I have access to all 9 realms. I can have court against your soul in all 9 realms. I will have you indicted in all 9 realms of the spirit. I'm a spiritual lawyer. I can be your defense attorney or I can be your prosecutor. That's left up to you. But I wanted to come on and share this knowledge, and that I want you to really study your Bible so you get a better understanding that it is more than just going to heaven or hell, because there's no literal hell. There is lower and higher dimensions of reality. And depending on the type of energy you have, is what type of spirits that are going to come for you, depending on your energy. And no matter how you try to facade about you're this great person and you ain't hurt nobody and you got all the love, your energy don't lie. And your deeds will speak against you. Huh? And all I got to say, get ready to be spiritually indicted. That's all I got. I appreciate you. I hope that you learn something. I hope that you take spirituality more serious and you don't find yourself in these situations and circumstances. And just because you don't believe in something doesn't mean it's not real, it's not factual, and it's not you can't not make it be because you don't believe in it. Don't be the type of Christian or a believer that think that because you don't know something is conscious and it exists, that means it don't exist, and it's just not true. I'm more than you thought I was, and that's not my fault. So let's stop sending mama and daddy and brother, sister, cousin, presidents to anywhere. One thing you can be assured, they in the spirit world. Where they are in the spirit world, depending on the elevation. And if they don't have a spiritual lean, it's easier to elevate those people, venerate those people. But if they got a spiritual lean, whoever the lien holder is will be contacted. And the lien is not going to, it can last for eternity. That's why I don't always do that. But I have done it quite a few times because I can. Not because I'm a good person or a bad person. If you take me there, I'll put a lien on your soul. So when you hear people talking about this person in heaven and this person in hell, don't believe them. One thing they can say, and it will be true no matter whether they believe us or not, to say they are in the spirit world. That is true. Where in that spirit world, you don't really know. Because it takes a whole year for them to fully transition wherever they're going to go. And sometimes in that year, they reincarnate back into this life through somebody else, the bloodline. And that lien will follow them if they choose to do that. Which means they will have an even harder life. All right. Love y'all. See y'all later. God bless.